Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel, and today I absolutely had no plans of being on camera, but here I am. Anyway, yeah, I had already had I figured, well, I'll use some of the footage that I already have in my camera, and I was going to edit and do a non-appearance video, but something came up, and so here I am. Yeah, we'll just go with the flow. Anyway, the topic today, well, earlier last week I made a post um, that read, it was just a text post that read, enlightenment is the exact moment when there's a realization of the person who's searching um, is the imposter, something to that extent. And I wanted to kind of elaborate on that because when you read that, one would think, what does that mean by the one who is searching is the imposter? It's a self-inquiry, and you have to realize that if there's a searching, then that means there's something that's not found within yourself. There's a realization that comes doing self-inquiry. Self-inquiry kind of, it filters out the real from the fake. And that's why it's so important in your journey, or what we call a journey, journeyless journey. Finding the true nature of yourself, it takes an inquiry. You have to step back and look at everything that's thought of, everything, all the actions, what you're saying, the language. And a lot of times you see me correcting, and maybe I'll speak a little bit lower. It's because the language that we speak is so limiting, and it really never ever can identify our true nature, the source. There's no words really that's there. Sometimes just to be quiet is enough, and just be it. And so when I'm trying to find the words, oftentimes it's because there is none in the English, version that, or any language. Language is just limited. It's the limitations of the human's experience of our true selves. And so when you're searching out for your true self, you have to do these inquiries. You have to pretty much inquire about every thought that you're having and why you're having the thought. And that will bring you to the source of all. And when we look at the activities of the source, ourselves, the true nature, truth, there's many words or terms we could call it. We have to recognize there's a time where you will come to a recognition of yourself. If there's a searching, then you know that there's a root of that searching. Why is there a searching? Is the searching the root of, or the source of, our true nature? Would our true nature need to search for itself? If you're in a realization of your true self, what actually is searching? And these are some of the things that I ask myself is, what is this searching? Why is there a desire? And as you answer a question, maybe another question will come up, and then as you answer that, get to the root of all questions until there is no more questions. So if I'm searching for myself, then who is this I? Is that myself that is searching, or is that the person who I think I am? It's like a man that does not have a mirror, that goes running through the house looking for his body. He searches all over the house, under the bed, under the rugs, in the closet, to look for his body. Until at one moment he realized that his body is here with him, and it was never lost. That realization is enlightenment. And it all drops down to, initially there was for me, there was an identification of myself as this mind body person. That is the person who I think I am. That is the person that has all of these text shape, the form, the categorization, the description, such as I'm a black mother, you know, my job description, the things I like, all of these things falls under the personhood. But is that the true, is that my true being? Is that who I am? Is that the nature of who I am? Am I a color? Am I a shape? Am I a form? Or what's behind all these things that we call ourselves? All these characteristics, the contents, the shape, the form, what is that behind it? When you look at the nature of the world, it's almost like it's dualistic, because the things that we see isn't in fact what it is. And when I say that, it's because what created that? You know, you have to go behind the source. It's like when scientists went to look for this, to answer this question, what is it that makes a tree a tree? What is it that makes a dog a dog? What is it that makes a cat, a human a human? And when they put it under a microscope and blew it up till it was no more that they could see, then they realized that nothing was there. And so if that is the reality of that, then what actually makes me me? Is it my physical form? Is it my flesh? Is it the things I like, the things I do, the things I say that I am, the person that I believe that I am? Is it all of these things, the culture? Is it the action, or is this the activity of what I am, or the activity of the source? And when you go to start looking at that, do a self-inquiry, which brings about the self-realization of yourself. You realize that all of these attributes are not yourself, or everything we see is not really that. It's the activity of God. And when you start to peel back all of these layers, you start to see the truth of the fickleness of the clouds that are passing, you know, the density that we notice in each of this what we call consciousness. We are that breath of life that was born within us. It is pure awareness. It's consciousness. It is that source of being. We realize that sits behind everything that is seen. So all of the activity and everything that emanates from within the source isn't the source, because it was here before all activity. It was before all beliefs, all conscious thought, all of these qualities, all of the, before I became a mom, before I became a color, or not really became, or before we perceived ourselves or was conditioned to believe that we were all these things, it was here from the beginning. So if something is searching, what is searching? Does the source need to search for itself, or is it all knowing? Is it limitless? I mean, is it limited or is it limitless? Are there any bounds within the nature of the source which emanates and creates all things? Who am I? If I'm saying that I am searching, who is this I that is searching? Is it the source that emanates and brings the life and creates all things that are perceived? Or is it a fictitious, fictitious character that I believe that I am in my mind, that's searching for something that's already been there, that has never been lost? It's just a really, when you think about that quote, that enlightenment is the realization that the one who is searching is the imposter. It's the realization of the true awareness of yourself. It's turning back and then looking inward, which is back at yourself, and realizing the person that I are, the one, what I've always been searching for has always been here. It's never been apart. The only thing that has changed from the moment when I thought I was this person was a veil, realizing that that was a belief, that was a concept, that was a shape, a thought that was believed. It was just belief. And so when we peel back the belief, it brings to light an acknowledgement, an awareness of ourselves, and we realize, hey, the imposter is the one who is searching. That is the one that is not real. That is the one, the activity of the Almighty, but it is not the source. The source does not have to look for itself. The source is all knowing. The source is limitless. It needs no validation. It needs no belief. It is the source of all things. And once there's a realization of that, then the love is all these things that were veiled are now unveiled in this enveloping of that blissfulness initially, that love, that peace, that joy, what we are, that true nature. And so that is more of an explanation of that quote that I put out there. Just something that came up. And it's a joyous time, or I guess you would say a beautiful experience when you can experience yourself in truth and not be veiled with all of the beliefs that we believe ourselves to be. Because it's no need for searching. The searching is over once you experience yourself. Once you can unveil the thoughts and clearing the mind, you realize that the earth is consciousness, and everything that you see and feel is an extension of you. And yeah, it may appear to be in different densities and forms, but it's all emanated from that one source, which we all are. We are the breath of life. We are the activity of God. But even beyond that, If his breath was blowing us, are we any different from the source? What we call within these walls of limitations, the forms of consciousness, but it's still consciousness. It's not a human that is conscious or a cat that is conscious. It's all consciousness. It's all emanates from the source. And so that is a deeper explanation. I hope that blesses someone. Sometimes it feels like things come out naturally. I feel like when I'm out in nature, I feel a more connection, a more flow into everything. Like, well, let's just move down. Let's move on from that. It's just sometimes I feel like everything flows well, and other times I feel like it doesn't. But I hope I was able to really explain or go into more context or detail in regards to that quote, because it can be confusing. Because someone could say, how can you say I'm an imposter? And then we can list on all the things that we think in this activity of God can be imposterous. And it's truth. There's truth and lies to everything. But when you get to a point of realizing yourself, you realize that nothing is true or false. It just is. And that's where we want to be. If we live in that neutrality, in that space where it's no longer black and white, it's no longer right and wrong, there's no evil or good, you realize everything is source. And it makes your world is just so much more fruitful, so much more beautiful, so much more joyful. Well, it is just what it is. It's love. All is love. That doesn't mean that you accept, everything. Like if there's something that comes up with another being that's maybe not aware of themselves, that doesn't mean you don't address it accordingly. You approach consciousness where their level of awareness of themselves is. So you just accept them in that level, but you may have to have boundaries, or you may have to establish you just meet them where they're at, and you will respond accordingly to where the nature of the being is believing themselves to be. You just address it at their level of awareness. But anyway, I don't want to keep babbling because I feel like that's what I'm doing. Yeah. But if there's any questions that you ever have, or or comments you want to leave, you can do that below. Thank you for watching this video. Remember that you are beautiful, and I love you.